Hi, and welcome back. Today we released an action set that's referred to as the classic black and white, and there are 3 actions within that set. I shared a little teaser, which was the black and white cinema within the Art of Photography and Design group on Facebook, a closed Facebook group. So there were some questions about the action. So I'm going to go through and do a couple quick edits so that you understand how it works. So right now I have my sample image pulled up, and we're going to run the black and white cinema. And I've assigned my function key F5 to run my actions, and so that's all I'm going to do. Now it states that there's a group of layers and that you can invert them and paint them on, but to do not alter the black and white conversion. And go ahead and hit continue. Now the reason you're not going to affect or change the black and white conversion is because you won't have a true black and white. This automatically defaults to all the settings that I assigned when developing the action. The cinema effects, if we zoom in here, you can see that it's grain. I myself don't use grain a whole lot, so what I'm personally going to do for this image is bring it down to about 15, let's put it at 12%. Now this has add some contrast. Let's zoom back out, and you can see that it's adding contrast. And if you feel that this needs a little bit more, go ahead and adjust this to the opacity of your liking. This is just base settings that you can change. Now, brighten the iris. With black and white images, there's a specific way that you need to brighten the iris. And she has amazing eyes to begin with. I've done nothing to her eyes. Here's the before, the black and white, and here's the after. But what the black and white brighten the iris does is you're going to want to watch where your light is coming from and the highlights that are in the eyes to begin with. Because when you come in here and use this, it's going to appear to be very strong, and all I'm going to do is enhance those just a little bit. And really the light is coming from above, so we can come in here and lighten that just a tad, and you can see that the difference that makes on her eyes. Now when you go to save your image after you've adjusted all the settings to your likings, make sure that you save this as a PSD. That way, if for some reason you want to come back and you want to make further changes, you have your layered PSD to always reference. I always save a PSD and a JPEG of everything I edit. Sometimes I can have multiple PSDs for one image, but that's okay because I can backtrack my steps and I never have to start out at square one. Now I'm just going to go to the history and I'm going to shut this one off. We'll do the classic black and white drama on this one. Again, I'm just using F5. Now this is where this folder comes in. What you're going to need to do, if you liked everything the way it defaulted, then that's all you have to worry about. But there are lots of goodies in here. If we wanted to calm her highlights, that's our highlight buster. And you can see that it brought the highlights of the image down by quite a bit. We have our choice of two contrast levels here. One is very moody and on the dark side, and one is a little lighter handed. I kind of like the moodier side of this. And I'm just going to bring the opacity down just a tad. Oh. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm just going to bring this down a tad. Now it has a touch of matte. If you wanted to put a matte appearance on top of this, that's matte 1. Or we have a darker matte that you can also lighten if I would stay on the right layers. There we go. I kind of like it at about 20. Yeah, I want to bump that contrast back up. Now, this also has a shadow lifter on it, so you can lift your shadows, and you can see how it's affecting her knee portion here as I'm doing that. And again, this also has the Brighten the Iris. Use it exactly the same way. Now, I'm going to come over to this one here. And we're going to do a classic black and white on this little guy here. Now these are all on just clean edits. It's just been white balanced. It's had minimal editing done to it other than a clean edit. And I like to run my black and whites on a clean edit. So again, we have the folder. So we're going to expand this so that we can come in here. This too has 3 contrast levels in it. It has Brighten the Iris. It has the details. What this does is it just sharpens some of the details within your image. And it has Brighten the Shadows. And it has the Highlight Buster, which it brings its highlights down quite a bit. And I would probably opt to keep the Highlight Buster on for this one. Now, you can shut these off and choose which ones you feel are more suitable to your image. I kind of like this one here. Now, we can use Darken Up, we can use Brighten Up, we can turn them all off. I like them off for this one in particular, but this is a great example of how this Brighten the Iris is going to work. With a very soft white brush, you're going to come in here and you're going to be ever so careful to stay exactly on that iris, because if it goes off, it's not going to give you the effect maybe that you're looking for. So I'm thinking right about 50 for his eyes. Let's zoom back out and look. And be sure to click your layers on and off, because we don't want them zombie looking, and he almost did there for a minute. And that's just enough to pop his eyes. Now, if you wanted to darken up a portion of your image but not the entire image, let me move this out of the way here. See how this is darkening the background a little bit? If you wanted to, you could come over here and do Control-I and invert that. Choose your brush tool, making sure that it's white, and paint it on. And we can eliminate some of this lighter background. I have all these panels open so that you can see what I'm doing. But there's a lot of options within these 3 actions. And if you have any questions or any kind of feedback on further development, or if you would like to see this done straight from Lightroom to Photoshop, just let me know. I'll do another video and I'll walk you guys through it. It's no big deal. Again, once you are done with it, you're going to save it as a PSD file so that you have a reference point, and you're going to save it as a final JPEG. And just make sure that you name your JPEG BW, just for black and white, so that you know where it came from and what it is. Again, I can't thank you guys all enough for your kindness and support, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.